To those of you joining us today, thank you for watching the Woburn Spotlight. I'm your host, Tyler Gates, here to bring you some positivity to you by talking to those in towns making big strides for the greater good. Today I'm fortunate to have with me two friends of mine, Jack Farron, Reading Co-op, who is our current president at the WBA, and our new executive director, Chris Kissel. Chris, thank you for joining us. Jack, welcome back.
Hey, thanks for having us back, Tyler. It's always good to be here at Woburn Cable Access, and
we have some fun. The team here does a great job, so anytime we can come back here and talk a little bit about what we're doing, I'm happy to do it.
And the good thing is your show, it's for making a better Woburn, and that's what the WBA does.
Buy local, buy Woburn.
That's right.
Something you've actively said since the beginning that I've been here, and it sticks. And so today's our 50th episode, so I'm thrilled to have you on, Chris, to kind of have you introduce yourself as the new executive director. So please, just tell us a little bit about you.
All right, well, I'm Chris Kissel, a long-time Woburn resident, business owner here in town as well. We have my family grew up here, my kids were born here, so pretty much...
Been here a while, huh?
Been here a while, yeah.
Very involved in town as well. Tell us a little bit about that.
I'm on the school committee. It's been elected, I think 12 years now. The Woburn Host Lions Club, one of the clubs I'm involved with, very involved with the parade and so on. A scholarship fund, a couple of different things over the years that have phased out, but different scholarship committees and so on.
And 20-plus year business owner of Tasher Studios as well.
Actually, 33, going on 34.
30-plus. Yeah, I can just say 30-plus now.
30-plus. Yeah.
Easy.
I met Chris 30 years ago.
All right, then.
30-plus years ago.
Yeah.
Well, wonderful. And tell us a little bit about you, Jack, for anyone that missed the last episode.
So I've been in the banking industry 13 years. Prior to that, 26 years in the advertising industry. Mm-hmm. I made the crossover. I call it, you take your skills and you transfer them into a different world, but you never lose that customer service spotlight. So I get into business development, into banking, and I've been at Reading Coop now. I'm in year number 6.
Year number 6, okay.
And I was invited over to the WBA 6 years ago.
Okay.
And I came over. John Murphy is a former past president of the WBA. He came from Reading Coop. Mm-hmm. He was the business development officer. Actually, he recommended me to replace him, which those are some big shoes to fill. So I've been at Reading Coop 6 years. I joined the WBA at that point, became Tommy Sterling's vice president for 2 years. That was 4 years ago, and then my wife said, we're going to a what? I said, we're going to this dinner, and they're naming me the president. So I introduced my bank family, and I introduced my wife, and I said, we have a commuter marriage. I'm out every night, and she stays at home. That's what we do in business development.
And that's been the last 2 years, huh?
Yeah, so good luck to you, our new president-elect coming up.
Thank you.
But it's been a good run, and it's good to have Chris on board because Chris gets it. And I'll tell you why, and I don't want to embarrass him, but we had a meeting this morning. So 2/3 of this country is made up of small business, right? Mm-hmm. And Tasher Studios happens to be one of those, right? And we had this marketing roundtable this morning, did some talking, and that's what I was thinking about this afternoon with the WBA, this show of yours, Tyler, and congratulations on 50 years. So when you take a Tasher studio, or you take our friend John Casey with the keys and the glassware and things like that, that's the fabric of this city of Woburn, is those small businesses. Yeah, we have Raytheon, we have Excel, we have all these big companies, but the fabric of this community, of these small businesses when you walk down Main Street. And that's why when I got involved with the WBA, when I said buy local, buy Woburn, I'm a firm believer that. You know that's gospel to me. That's what the country is made up of. Yeah, we'll always have big boy America, but we'll always have the small businesses like the Tasher Studios, or take a look at the Haggerty's, the Daily Times Chronicle. Mm-hmm. It's a big operation, but it's a small family business. Those are the people that embrace the community, they give back, they raise dollars for their scholars, they coach Little League, softball, soccer, they go to the band competitions, they do things like that. So that's why I really enjoy the WBA, because the WBA, we invest in the small businesses, our sweat equity, those of us on the board, our executive director, because they invest in the community. And if it weren't for their tax dollars, we wouldn't have the tax base that we have here in Woburn.
It's been able to keep us strong for some time.
That's right, and growing.
I'm new to this area, but I've seen a vibrant growth over the last 4 or 5 years since I've stepped foot here. So it's really cool to see from my perspective for somebody that's been here much longer than I. I'm sure you've seen a lot of change.
Sure.
Do you mind just telling us a little bit about some of your business background and what excited you so much about applying for the director role?
I mean, not only the business background, but just being involved. I mean, with my kids obviously going through the schools, being involved with PTOs, and like I said, mentioned the scholarship committees, and really the Lions as well, which is a really big entity here in the city. But as a business owner, I started small, very small, where I still had another job and just kind of did photos on the side, and little by little it started paying the bills. And realized I needed bigger space. I was actually above Hillside Florist as my first location.
Okay.
That was just an office space to meet people. It was mostly weddings and so on. Then it went to Dr. Lennon down in the Central Square, which is where I'm from, that area, Central Square, Woburn. He had a nice spot, big Victorian mansion, made more sense to start doing some portraits there and so on. So I expanded, and then little by little said, I'm going to take a chance.
Yep.
I'm going to just drop all the other things and focus on Tasha Studio. And, had some people close to me were like, what are you doing? You get something with benefits and so on. So long story short, it worked. It's paid the bills. My kids have gone through school, college and so on, the mortgages, blah, blah, blah. It's all kind of made sense. As a business person in the city, I mean, I deal with a lot of local businesses. Things have changed probably in the last 8-9 years. A lot more LinkedIn, a lot more headshots, and people really marketing themselves. And I see that a lot more. So that's another whole side of our business. We didn't want to just focus on, as a studio owner, weddings and or portraits or whatever. We kind of did a little bit of everything. A lot of those people that did one or the other, they're not around anymore because that was their niche, and when that niche kind of dried up or got smaller. But as a business person, and the opportunity came up as the executive director. I remember Paul Meany many years ago. I was a good friend of Paul. He was in the Lions Club with me as well. Always watched him on cable. I guess I had no life other than watching cable. No, just kidding. Just kidding. No, it was one of those things where I would see him down at the city hall and really doing advocating for the small businesses and just in general. I was a member back then as well, and I got involved. So when the opportunity came up for this, and I approached a couple of board members and asked a little more about it and found out the details. And it works perfectly with the business I have now, with the time frame needed. It made sense, and being involved in the city, being a resident here, I have a lot of interest in making sure Woburn works, whether it be on the city side, business side, obviously a lot of different ways. So it was perfect, and I'm glad I took a chance and applied. The interview process, was a little extensive, which was nice. I think it made more sense to really make sure that this is what I needed and what the board needed. But I'm excited, very excited. Hit the ground running, really.
Certainly have.
Just because I just said, I'm going to talk to everyone I know and businesses that I deal with, and in the studio alone, just all the businesses that come in. Before they leave, I kind of throw a little push for the WBA, and a lot of them they didn't know much about it. Now they're glad they did. And to Jack's point, to Tyler's point, that Woburn has changed. I mean, it was a lot of really small businesses. I remember when Cummings really just started buying his buildings before it is what he is doing now. It's changed a lot with Cummings properties and other big buildings around that house a lot of the Raytheons and the larger corporations. But there's still Main Street, Woburn. There's still a lot of small businesses and a lot of cottage industry as well, which are people just kind of working out of their home because it's a lot of internet, a lot of online, and there's a need there for networking, which is what the WBA, one of the main goals of the WBA is networking and getting people known. Advertisement, unfortunately, local papers aren't as strong as they used to be, but what we're finding is people are now looking to do a little more handshaking and one-on-one, especially, like I said, the smaller companies that don't have the customer base coming in all the time. So they get out and they kind of spread the word about their company. And that's one of the things we're pushing for here, through the board and myself, is to let people know what we're all about. We have a lot of benefits. We have a sheet here, and it's on our website, what the benefits are of joining. But beyond benefits, it's what you make of it. And what I've talked to people is they say, well, I don't know if it's something for me. I said, you know what? It's going to be whatever you want it to be. If you want to go to networking and shake some hands, pass some cards out, excellent. If you want to kind of work it from the back end and just meet with people, one-on-one by sending out emails, that's fine too. But and we have speaker series, basically a lot for small businesses, mid-sized, the larger corporations, a lot of them join, to be honest with you, more so because we do get involved in the government side and kind of navigating their way through City Hall a little bit more, similar to what Paul Meany did many years ago, trying to get that back as well. There's a few members on the board that really want to focus on that part. So there's multiple sides to being the
What we
executive director.
do.
Yeah.
And thank you for sharing a bit about your background. I did that intentionally because I think navigating the way you've been able to navigate the small business scene says a lot about what you've been able to do. Like you said, there's a lot of people that maybe have focused on weddings or headshots, and they may or may not be in business nowadays. So
Sure.
you've been able to navigate those waters over 34 years.
Something like that.
Something like that. It blends together at this
Yeah,
point.
it does.
But on that same theme of the governance committee, or government committee, excuse me, do you guys want to just, either one of you want to speak to what we're doing, what we're seeing, kind of what involved in town right now?
Well, so the WBA, the historic government piece of the WBA is that we're advocates for Woburn business. Some people say, what is the Woburn Business Association? I guess on a broader scope, consider us a chamber of commerce, more or less, okay? So what we do is we advocate for Woburn business. I just met with the executive director of the Burlington Area Chamber of Commerce vis-a-vis through the state representative to help them get the shuttle. The shuttle is finally here to bring people from the Lower Lawrence area down to the Burlington area for employment because the Massachusetts, the MBTA, busing authority, they do not have transportation on the hours that are on or off with the restaurants that are in the 3rd Ave area of the district, and even as far to the right of 128 as Hanscom Air Force Base. So that's something the government committee is looking to vis-a-vis through the Middlesex 3 Coalition to try to bring some sort of transportation from Alewife, which is the red line, and then the Lower Lawrence area to bring in folks that can work in the entertainment, the hotel, and the restaurant industry, manufacturing, as it were. There's a myth that because we have the commuter rail that folks can get here. Well, the commuter rail is not a cheap commute, okay? We're talking about hourly wage employees. And yes, the hourly wage is competitive now because of the guarantee of the employment rate. However, there's a cost of getting here. So what we're doing with the Government Affairs Committee, which is being spearheaded from Tim, from Alan Major, and good friends from, help me out here. Cummings Properties.
It was right there. It was right there.
Right there. I'm just picturing Cummings Properties.
Steve's been great. on the board.
Steve's doing a great job as well. You don't really need to know the names, but there's 2 gentlemen in the room, and Joe Tobby, who's been a long-time standing attorney here in Woburn, well-respected, well-liked. We're trying to mirror what they've done over in Burlington, is to bring employees to the employers of the city of Woburn and help them get around and help them stay fully staffed. I mean, how many hotel workers have we talked to that are in the management level that say, I haven't been home since like Friday, and it's Tuesday because I don't have any staff and someone has to stay. That's the problems that we're having. The unemployment rate at national level is the lowest it has ever been. We're not talking about government, we're just talking about there's so many jobs and we can't get the people here. So that's one of the things that we are trying to do in the government affairs, is work with the Middlesex 3 Coalition, work with the mayor, work with city council, and try to get some way that we can, with big business, partner all of this together and help bring people to the city to work and somehow help them with the cost of getting here. There is a cost per seat, and we've been going through this better part of almost 3 years now. It won't be solved overnight, but we're working at that. And then the other thing too is, of course, we want to advocate for Woburn business, right? We're the welcome wagon, the WBA, and that'll be a challenge for Chris moving forward, but he has the skill set to do that. He knows the value proposition of what it is to be a business in Woburn and what we have to offer because he's experienced it. That's why we hired him. So not to say that those that were in his shoes in the past, Heather McGuire did a fabulous job for us. Nice person, great worker. She's got Woburn right here in her heart. It was time for her to step aside and let someone else come in because of family obligations, which is great. And we're happy to have Chris on board. But I just made a real short story long, but I had to show you that picture that it's not, government affairs, we're not here to make sure that this guy or girl gets that permit, we're here to make sure that their experience coming through City Hall is a pleasant one. The turnaround time is good because it costs so much money, especially going in front of planning boards or other boards or permitting. You're talking $650 an hour for some of these attorneys. That's a lot of money. I saw this during the growth. I was part of that development in Burlington. I saw that. And now we know that what the development that's going to happen in the future in Woburn, and that's why the mayor has asked some of us business people that do business in Burlington and Woburn to work collectively with someone like a Joe Tabi, work with city council president, the city councilors, and for this organization, through the new president and the executive director, to be the welcome wagon for the businesses, have them come in, this is what we have to offer, this is what we can do to help show you the way around, and again, say thank you, welcome to Woburn, and we're grateful for you paying your taxes.
So we got the governance committee. We have some networking after hours. I know we've done some before work or coffees in the morning. I know we have a couple of big events every year, and one of them is on the horizon. Chris, do you want to speak a little bit about what we might see this fall and into the winter?
Into the winter. This Thursday at the newly joined 110 Grill on Washington Street is at one of our networking night networkings, which is, you're kind of walking around, shaking hands, saying hello to people, and hopefully getting some business both ways, is a 5:30 to 7:30 on the 10th. So at the 110 Grill on 1010. We also have a women's group. It's open to anybody, but it just has to be called Women of Woburn, the WOW group. The last one we were at, we had a couple of gentlemen there too, and I think they were very involved. That was great. Those typically are more of a lunchtime thing. Yeah. It's 30 to 40 at least, maybe upwards of 50 people that attend that. Yep. Sometimes we have speed networking, which is kind of like sitting at a table, passing cards, talking for about a minute and a half, boom, moving on. So there's a lot of that happening, and at those events, the midday ones, typically we have speakers that come in and talk to small businesses, small business owners on things that they would probably spend a lot more money because there's really no cost at middle. I think it's $10 if they went into like a seminar in Boston or something. So it's a great opportunity. It's also a great opportunity here when we have the round table get-togethers, is to talk to other businesses, kind of one-on-one, and instead of reinventing the wheel, saying, hey, this is what, how do you find people? Is it through Indeed? Is it different opportunities? So that all these are great things for smaller and to mid-sized businesses. The upcoming events we have, the next one is December 4th, which is our annual celebration. Jack will be stepping down as president, and Tyler will be coming in, of course. It's a great opportunity to really see what the Woburn Business Association is all about. It's open to members. I don't know if I'm new, so I'm not sure if it's open to just anybody, but
it is.
It is. Okay, so it's a great opportunity to kind of see what goes on, meet the people that kind of make this all happen, in a sense, behind the scenes, but also to be involved and be a little bit more involved in the community. And as I'm walking around and I'm talking to people and making calls or emails, I'm finding that with a lot of businesses. They're here in Woburn. They might be at, again, back to Cummings. They might come in to Cummings and then kind of leave back on Washington Street. And so they don't really get involved with the city, and they want to find out how they can, whether it be working with nonprofits like, again, Lions Club, Rotary, Kiwanis, things like that, or just meeting other businesses instead of just being in a certain building. But the December 4th event will be a great opportunity. Be great to finally have Tyler. I think we usually had it in November. We had to push it to December this year, but he'll step in. He's going to do a great job. Jack did a fantastic job, obviously.
Tried.
Staying on the board as well. But like I said, Tyler, that'll be more his night, I guess, coming in. So it'll be great for that. After that, and I'm not sure if we set a date up, but we also have a golf tournament that happens usually in May, first week in May. That's one of the other bigger events that we have. Always opportunity for sponsorships. We'll put that plug out there. That's how we operate, sponsorships and membership dues and so on. So it's one of those things where if anyone wants to get their name out, it's not just giving money and walking away. It's getting your name out there, and we make sure that that's known. I know we have some larger donators, Cummings Properties, Leahy Clinic, ACP. And so as a few of them.
Logic IT, I think, is our
Yes. Team Logic. Team Logic,
yes.
Team Logic, and would love others to step up and kind of help out. But in general, just being involved. We're also always looking for, expanding on that, our board at large or membership for the board itself to get involved. and it's a great opportunity to kind of work your way into it, so you know become part of the official board at that point. So lots of opportunity, and I really want to let people know it's not just about shaking hands, passing out cards. Because a lot of people say, oh, you know, I don't need to do that. It is a lot more opportunities.
Like you said, you can find what you're looking for there if you look hard enough, and I think that's, for me, the Woburn Business Association was a way to build my network, not being from here. So like you said, you can find what you're looking for. It allowed me those professional connections to send my clients to that I may not have found on my own.
Well, it's a good referral base too. And when we say buy local, buy Woburn, we mean by way of the resources, discounts for members, member to member. Or, you know, I need a photographer, we'll call Chris. Or I need investments, we'll call Tyler. I need a loan, call Jack. That's what we do. This is not, the thing that impressed me most when I first came here 6 years ago was similar to what you just alluded to, Chris. It was not, here's my business card, can I have a meeting, can I have a meeting. It's, my name is Chris, or my name is Tyler, here's my card. This is probably not the place to talk about business, but if you'd like to catch up on a cup of coffee or something sometime, I'm available. That's because we really frown upon that meeting, sell. It's more about, here's another professional in the room, here's another resource you may or may not need today, but let's have a social conversation as professionals, and if we can help each other, we can. If we can't, maybe I can refer you to someone that's in my network of people.
That's what, yeah, you just put it exactly the feeling that I got from the WBA early on. I think it was you specifically at the local when I was new to the area. And you walk in, I know somebody that you need to meet, and I believe you introduced me at the time to an attorney.
Yeah.
So it's a little fuzzy because it was years back, but it just immediately you knew somebody I had to know, and you introduced me, and that went a long way.
I had someone in my office Friday, and I looked at this product, and there were 3 different benefits for 3 different type of end users. And he looked at me, he says, you look like you're like deer in the headlights right now. I said, no, you need to meet someone. So I said, hold that thought, and I put a speakerphone, and I did Rotodial. I dialed right away, made an appointment. I mean, that's what we do, right?
Yep, that's a great example.
Yeah, people helping people.
People helping people, and the
That's what it
WBA is you know, definitely seen that as a core value for my time here, and something we'll hold close to the chest. Is there anything that you want to see? I know you've been working closely with the board to develop your own vision and what that might look like. Are there any key initiatives that you would like to see through in your journey?
Right now, I mean, it's a bit of learning. But really what it is I'm just reaching out to everyone I know, and I'm asking the board, and they've been fantastic. A lot of members have sent referrals my way, not necessarily had people sign up right from the get-go, but just talk. People just say, hey, I want to know a little bit more about it. So I'm that person, and I have no problem talking to anybody, whether it be by email, by referral base at any of our meetings, and just explain what the benefits are, again, back to the sheet here, but also just what is out there, what can be done. There are people that'll join, like I said, because they want the referral base and they want to expand their business. There's other people that have been in business a lot of years, but they're seeing things change a little bit, so they want to try a different approach. But overall, I just wanted to succeed. I mean, like I said, I want to see the WBA become a little different than maybe what it has been, and in the sense of the membership base, bringing that up quite a bit. Because like I've been saying, the more people that join, the more referral base everyone has. You're not just dealing with when we have one caterer. We just, for example, I'll give them a little plug. We just signed Joseph's Catering up today.
Great place.
Great place.
Great people.
There the other day and didn't. I knew they had a function hall, but I kind of forgot about it. But they have a function hall. They do takeout. They do catering, corporate and resident. So they said this would be great. So the idea being is the more people we have, more businesses we have as our base, the more people will join. Kind of like, they'll say, hey, I know that company. Yeah, if they're in it, I'll probably join because that's a good fit for us too.
Well, the key word is resource, right? So the more people means more resources. And then we have the website, which you can have your logo, your name, your sponsorship, or you can be a resource if you're Googling or you're using our fine magnifying glass looking for an investment person or looking for a photographer, or you can do what everyone else is doing today, digital marketing. We offer that. We offer e-blasts, which it's a lot cheaper than buying an ad somewhere else. Digital marketing is where it's at.
And one other piece with the website you mentioned, and we already talked about government, but The government committee, when we met the other day, asked if we could potentially have a link to the city's website, which we now have. It's already
Okay.
up. So if you go to the Woburn Business Association, WoburnBusiness.org, the website, there's a link on there that says, I believe it says city government. And it basically has road closures and construction that
Which is huge right now.
they might not,
Yeah.
reach out to the
Yeah.
businesses that are in that area, and they have trucking issues and so on. So it's nice to know city meetings, city events, and then the upcoming events. All the different boards which would affect certain businesses that may want to attend a meeting up at City Hall. If they're familiar, I mean, the bag ban issue that came up a little while back. Those things will be on the agenda, so you can kind of
Okay.
see. You could obviously go to the city's website and do that, but we want to make our research one stop.
One-stop
You
shop
click there
for-
and you
for
can kind of
business
see
and people.
exactly, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So how do people get a hold of you? What's the best way? If somebody's watching this and says, either I want to sponsor, get involved, ask questions, what's the best way to reach out?
I mean, the best way is through by email.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the easiest way, and it's Chris, CHRIS, at WoburnBusinessAssociation.com. We're working on that. We might shorten it a little bit, but it's
fair.
WoburnBusinessAssociation.com. That's the best way. I do have my business number, which I'm there obviously most of the time through my cell phone, so people can reach out that way. But basically, probably through the email with the Woburn Business
best way.
Association is the easiest.
Or call Tyler.
Or call Tyler.
Call Tyler, yeah.
Why not, right? Well, good, gentlemen. We have a few more minutes together, so I'm just going to open it up to both of you. If there's anything that you'd like to share, either a personal story about the WBA or things that you have going on, feel free to do so now.
I think the WBA is, I go back to when I said it's the welcome wagon to business, right? So Reading Coop does business in Woburn. I'm a Burlington guy, and I was overwhelmingly accepted 6 years ago, and here I am finishing my term as president. You're from out of state, and you came to the Woburn area, and you're the next president. Chris is born and bred in Woburn, and he's here. So that's what it is. We're just a group of professionals trying to make for a better Woburn and Woburn business. That's what we do. We're not self-consuming. We're here to advocate for Woburn business and help our brothers and sisters or our resources that are part of the WBA. That's the fabric of what we do.
Excellent. Yeah, I think you've said it all. I think we talked mainly about the benefits of joining and why any business would want to. Like I said, anybody can reach out to me, actually to any of the board if they know
Sure.
them, find out a little bit more about it. I'll follow up, and it's usually done within a 12-hour period to follow up, so it's you'll get an answer right away if you need it, or just in general, what's going on in the city and things
Yep.
like that. One of us has, our finger on some pulse somewhere, so to give most of the answers. So, like I said, I think it's a great opportunity. I appreciate the confidence and the vote, putting me in place, and we'll hopefully when we talk on your 53rd or 4th televised meeting, it'll be.
You coming back in 3 weeks?
Yeah, is that what it is every
Yeah.
week?
It's not every week, but we have a couple lined up. The good folks here do. Jack.
One suggestion I would reference to, if anyone is interested in WBA, go online, look up our website, find out when the events are, bring a pocket full of business cards, introduce yourself at the door to Chris, myself, or Tyler. Just come in and see what it's like.
See how it feels,
Yeah.
right?
See if it fits. Go to a couple of events. No money, no obligation. See
Yep.
if you like it. We'll walk you around. We'll introduce you to people. That's what it's about. We're a family.
I'm glad you said that. That's how I introduce it too, because I think that if you see the value of the WBA on your own terms, you'll definitely see it immediately. So
Exactly.
come to an event, big one. December 4th would be a great
Yeah.
opportunity to do so as well.
And that's, by the way, we also announced Business of the Year.
Yep, Business of the Year, Humanitarian of the Year. It's going to be at the Crown Plaza.
It's going to be at the Crown Plaza.
I was going to say, I just announced that.
I
Hopefully
know,
it is.
Yeah. It's going to be at the Crown Plaza, the one next to in case people don't always know the hotels, there's a few of them, next to the Showcase Center in Woburn on Middlesex Canal Parkway.
Wonderful. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me
Thank
for
you,
our
Ty.
50th episode. A lot of
Nice.
fun. And
I
thank
feel
you guys
special.
all for watching the Woburn Spotlight. Join us again next time.